Him the Gary V and Tony Robbins of the real estate space. But today I'm going to walk you through the funnel of Tom Ferry so you can get to know the #1 coach within the industry and how he's building a raving fan base of real estate agents, elevating their careers, and really providing valuable organic content that really sets him apart from all the other coaches that are in the real estate industry. So stay tuned as I walk you through step by step his funnel and show you what he's doing and how you can institute it in your own business to get a lot more engagement and to get a lot more customers in. Before we jump in, if you're brand new to my channel, I'm Czekanski. I'm a funnel strategist, and I really work with 7- and 8-figure coaches and really building out their sales funnel and their sales funnel strategies so it really fits their unique personality and that it matches up with the type of clients and following that they really want to build so they can do it on an automated basis and really start putting their time and energy in those areas where they most want to and start building out their team and start thinking about their legacy as well. So every single week I'm coming out with a breakdown of different funnels across different industries. So you'll see some of them are just ones that I really have an interest in and that I come across. Others are certain clients of mine, and I'm giving you some insights into how I help them along the way. Either way, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. So every time I come out with content every single week, you'll be notified and can check it out. So with that, let's jump into the funnel of Tom Ferry. Effective ways of building your business, especially in the early going. It's a great way to get people to get to know you, build your authority, let people know how much expertise that you do have along the way. But it can be really hard because especially in the early going, as you put out your posts, when you have no following, it's tough because you put out posts out there and you get no engagement. There's no likes, there's no shares. There's really nothing. And you're just wondering, like, is anybody listening to what I'm putting out there? Is it valuable information? Am I connecting with them at all? And I've been through this as well, especially, I'm officially 1 year in and being a freelancer. And in those first couple of days of putting out content week after week, you're wondering, like, is anybody even listening? Is this worth my time at all? But Tom Ferry in, the funnel that I'll show you today has done a really great job of putting out really valuable organic content that really has built up his authority. It showed people that he has the expertise to kind of move along their real estate, agency business and get them to the goals that they really want to, and really kind of cutting through some of those limiting beliefs, getting to a lead generation strategy and getting more transactions in their business as well. And, just showing that he really knows the real estate market. And if you're in the real estate market, you need to be following his stuff because he's putting out super valuable stuff that really gives you an idea of what is going on. So, as you're going through this market, if you're not listening to his YouTube channel or reading his weekly blog posts, then you're not as good of an agent as you could be. So again, he's built that following on just putting out really valuable content that kind of pre-sells his coaching. So, you get to the point where, you've watched his stuff, you have kind of built up in your mind, like Tom Ferry really knows what he's talking about. He can get me to where I want to go, to the point where once you get on his website or you're ready to sign up for a free call, you already know the value of his services because you've seen it in his organic content. He has expertise. He's built up kind of this coaching empire where he's kind of hired out these other people as well. And in his organic content, he's introducing you to the coaches that are under him as well. So if you're going to get on a call with him, before even signing up for a coaching program, you're going to get value from it because you've seen it every single day. He's putting out content that shows and demonstrates the expertise that he has. So I'm going to walk you through how he's been able to do it, some of the techniques he's used and how you can kind of use that for your own business. But again, we're going to go through parts of his funnel and show you, some of the common mistakes that I see in other coaching funnels as well. And you see it with Tom. There's room for improvement along the way in every single funnel. So I'm going to walk you through how he can kind of improve the funnel that he has right now. Obviously, he's doing really well, being the #1 coach within the real estate industry. But there's obviously certain periods where you can kind of build that relationship. And I'm really going to walk you through kind of in the my method, which I call the Hive method, kind of those 3 steps. And I'll kind of walk you through with that lens of Tom Ferry's funnel as well. So thinking about #1, kind of catching people's attention, like #1, they have to kind of stop their scroll and get to the point where they want to listen to you. So talking about techniques on how you do that and put out valuable content that gets them to stop their scroll. Second thing is engagement. So once we stop their scroll, once they're starting to listen to us, how do we start building a relationship with with us, that they start coming back to our content again and again and again, where they hit that subscribe button, where they opt into your email. Again, they don't have to take the action, but think about kind of it like a TV show. Like, how do we get them coming back in that following week for our next episode, so we can kind of continue the conversation along the way. And that third step is kind of conversion. So once we've developed that relationship with them, how do we get them to the point where we want them to take the action that we want? So how do we get on a call? How do we get them to sign up for a call or a webinar or whatever your next step is, that getting closer to them becoming a client, where you can get on, kind of discuss with them, what their goals are and how you can potentially help them. So I'm going to walk you through each of them. This week I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start at the very end of Tom's funnel to give you an idea, what is that specific action he wants you to take in terms of that conversion. And we're going to kind of work backwards in terms of walking through his funnel, so you have a good idea of what's going on. And I'll show you kind of the techniques of what he's using and how he's built up his business and getting to the point where he's getting more people into his coaching program. So let's jump in from the very end of Tom's funnel and talk about, like, what is the action that he wants you to take. If you've watched his content, he's the expert, you want to, be in his coaching program or one of his other training programs. What's that first what's that step he wants you to take to kind of continue the relationship and get to the right program for you, talk through some of your goals and get there. So first one is kind of just looking at his website. Great idea of looking at somebody's website is like, what action do you want that person to take? For most people, it's kind of putting out some kind of lead magnet or some kind of free value, and then getting to the point where they either get on a call with you or through their series of emails, getting to the point where they sign up for that free call so they can kind of pre-qualify you along the way and put you in those right coaching programs that might be the right fit for either your real estate agency or if you're a brand new real estate agent. They might have different coaching programs. So he does start with kind of just, a little bit of a proof point within his website. So you can kind of just see, his coaching and average member is way above the national median and then the top producers here. So, if I'm going to get started with him, what's that first step? So I've hit this button. What you'll see is he just takes you to the free consultation call. So free consultation calls I see all the time. I mean, it's the number one, call to action. It's the number one step that all coaches want to get you to. They want to get you on the call. And once they get on the call and kind of get to know you, have that conversation, hear it all the time from coaches. Once I get them on the call, I close them 100% of the time, or I close them 80% of the time, whatever it is. It just has to get to the point where that conversation really starts. And for Tom, it's not really any different, just because he has all these different coaching programs that really fit the different trajectories and experience levels of the real estate agents that are out there. He's been coaching long enough that he knows that each part or each segment of the real estate agents, or if they have a broader real estate agency, they have different needs, and he has different programs that he's built out over time. So he wants to get you on the call, kind of get to know you a little bit better, to the point where he can kind of place you within these coaching programs, get a better idea of how much you're willing to invest, and do those kind of things. So, one of the things that I see all the time with coaches is they try and get to this free consultation call, but kind of the motivation for people to get on the call with you is kind of questionable. They don't really know you very well. They're not really sure what to expect. They know that you're probably going to sell them on something, but what's their motivation for getting on a call with you? It's kind of similar to some marketer calling them on the phone or a robocall. Like, why should I pick up this phone? Like, what's in it for me? And I think what Tom really does well, and again, we'll get into this in a little bit, is really puts out great organic content that kind of pre-sells the fact that once you get on a free consultation call with him, there's going to be a lot of value. You're going to get a lot out of it, even if you don't sign up for a coaching program. He's going to give you and kind of move you along the way, or one of his coaches that you're on a call with is going to move you along the way, just because he's already built up that reputation of giving a lot of value up front for free already. So, for that free call with him actually has some value. Whereas, if you're a coach that's out there and hasn't been, you haven't been out there, you haven't built your authority, free call to a lot of people just means, where's the value there? So the difference with Tom is he spent a lot of time building up that organic content. So he's kind of built up that relationship and he's kind of built up that value. So you know what you're getting. If you do sign up for a free call, free actually means something that, wow, this is a great deal. Whereas for other coaches that haven't spent that time in really doing that, free just kind of means something that really doesn't have a lot of value, and somebody's just giving that away. So that's kind of the first thing. But again, I kind of think about free, coaching, consultation calls. One of the things that you kind of should think about is, how can I make that unique? How can I kind of take the free out of there? How can I maybe put a unique name to that consultation call that you have with me, kind of talking about maybe one of the benefits that you get out of a call with me. Again, even if you don't sign up, I'm going to give you some value up front, and doing it that way. And that can be really powerful as well. With these coaching calls, and anytime you're on a call with anyone, kind of sit in your audience's shoes. Like, they want to get on a call with you, but again, they know they're probably going to be sold something, but they want some value along the way. They want this 45 minutes or whatever the time is on the call with you to have that conversation to kind of move them along, even if they don't sign up. So, in this, on this page, I think Tom could do a little bit better, in kind of talking about, like, what is this call all about? Like, how does it, he does it a little bit here and talking about the 4 ways to discover a better way of doing business, but how do we think about this? What are the key things that we're going to cover within this call? Who am I actually going to get on a phone conversation with? So, it's important that maybe I'm not just getting on a call with, maybe a call center with, somebody that maybe doesn't have a lot of expertise within the real estate space. Am I getting on a call with somebody with, that's kind of a direct coach of Tom Ferry, that has a lot of expertise, that has maybe experience in the real estate industry and has kind of coached people along the way and can provide value along with that? It's one of those that kind of, he doesn't really share a lot of that detail. So it kind of gives you a little bit of question. So again, the more questions and, the less certainty people have in kind of signing up for these free calls, the less they're going to be motivated to do that. Again, I'll show you how Tom has kind of, given away a lot of value that makes it more likely that people are going to sign up for this, because they know there's a lot of expertise and value attached to his programs and to his overall company. So again, he's kind of ahead of the game in terms of a lot of other coaches. But again, one of those things that he can kind of improve within his funnel is just giving a little bit more transparency into what this call is all about, putting a unique name to that consultation call to attach it to one of the benefits that are out there. And again, one of the things that you'll see is one of his superpowers is kind of being on video. So a great way of doing it is, in kind of giving through that detail, is maybe putting a video right here that kind of just provides an introduction to what this call is all about. What are they going to get out of it, even if they don't sign up for a coaching program? How are we going to move that real estate agent along the way? Who are they going to be talking to? So give them an idea of who that's going to be. And again, maybe some success stories in terms of that consultation call. Even those people that might have signed up for a coaching program, have some of them talk about how they got really major breakthroughs in that first initial conversation, how that led them along the way. Again, your goal is to kind of provide value, show the value of getting on the call with you, rather than just putting out there as a free thing. Like, why should people actually be motivated and excited about getting on a call and scheduling this and taking up some of their time to doing that? And I think that covers a lot of the coaches that are out there. So you want, the number one call to action is getting on a free call, but think about how you're motivating and giving value upfront and kind of pre-selling your services so that people are, it becomes a no-brainer for people to sign up for your free services along the way as well. So it's worth kind of including maybe a 10 or 15 or 17 minute video that kind of walks people through exactly what are the key components, kind of pre-selling that free call before you get to the point where they are ready to sign up along the way. Some certain people are going to get to this page and they're ready to sign up right away. Other people are going to need a little bit more information. And just know, among the audience, you just have those various different ones. So you have to give enough information that kind of covers both. And that's going to lead to more calls for you and your coaching business. And, along the way, if you have that, if you're putting out a great service, you have those success stories, it's going to make it really easy for you to close more and more clients along the way. But the number one thing that kind of holds up coaching funnels is, in that call to action for that free call, not motivating or providing enough information for people to be excited enough or ready enough to sign up for a call on the page, but also in the emails that you provide going forward. So let's kind of go to the next step. I'll show you a little bit more about the content, kind of the pre-selling that Tom does and how he's really building up his authority, showing you some of the Facebook ads that he's using to kind of supplement some of his organic content to get more of the people that are out there and within your news feed, especially as you're seeing some of his great content, kind of pushing people to that next step, again, to that final conversion step. But let's go back to the first step, again, trying to catch people's attention and starting to build that relationship, kind of that engagement along the way. So you come back again and again and again, and you know that Tom is the right person, if you're a real estate agent, to kind of propel your career to where you want it to be. Look at Tom's organic content, really what it looks like, and I'll show you kind of various different pages, but Tom is really everywhere. He's across the various different platforms, across Facebook, YouTube, see his stuff on LinkedIn more recently as well. But let me start with YouTube, where he's got a great presence and how he's built up a lot of content and his following. I'll show you on Facebook as well to show you how he's doing something a little bit differently. But you can start from the top here. You can see kind of the following he's built, 387,000 subscribers. So a massive amount of following that he's built up. But recognize that in building up that following, he's had to do a lot of content. He's a lot of putting his authority out there, showing his expertise. He's done over 1,300 videos on YouTube over the last 5 or so years to get to the point where he's had this following. So it does kind of take that volume and persistence to go through that, but there's certain things that Tom has done really well to help you kind of shortcut your success to building your following and get to the point where you can build your authority and expertise really quickly. So number one, in kind of looking at some of these things is, again, creating kind of that repeatable series where people kind of come back again and again and again for your stuff. So number one thing I would show you is just like every single day he's putting out content that is relevant to YouTube. And for YouTube, it tends to be a little bit longer in the videos. You can see for the most of them, he has an hour-long video here, 11 minutes, another hour-long show here, 20 minutes here. So they tend to be a little bit longer, and that's more to kind of fit that YouTube audience. But as you can see, kind of going through these, he has these kind of series of going out there. So you kind of come back again and again and again. It really started with what he calls the Tom Ferry Show. And again, he's putting out really great expertise within the real estate market, kind of telling people what's going on, how they can kind of advance their real estate career and building up value that way. And that's how he kind of built, that was kind of the foundation for his following, people coming back every single week to get insights from him in that Tom Ferry Show. And what he's done over time is kind of expanded that to other separate shows. You can see every single day he tends to have some kind of theme that he's going through. So he has Mindset Monday. He has a weekly show called This Week in Housing. So this was kind of the first show, and this is how I got introduced to Tom Ferry is listening to his more recent This Week in Housing show. So if you actually take a look at that episode, and I'm not really an expert in real estate and don't have a strong interest in it altogether, but it was a really valuable call or show that kind of got into kind of the nuts and bolts of why in certain markets the housing market is really doing really well, which is kind of counterintuitive in going through this pandemic, where a lot of people can't show houses in person, but also kind of the economic climate isn't great. But we talked through along with his guests why in certain markets the housing market is really doing well and how certain agents are having their best years ever, which is doesn't make a lot of sense. But he kind of walks through certain portions of that and kind of puts a focus on certain little portions of the real estate market, especially if you're an agent, will be really helpful as you go out there and try and get new clients, but also talking to your existing clients as well. So as you go through kind of these weekly shows, but also some of his content, you're really getting a lot out of it, and you can kind of put it right to work if you're a real estate agent right away. Again, you don't have to pay him a dime for his coaching services. He's actually almost just kind of going through the mindset, and I have this with the same prospects and clients that I reach out to as well, is going on the assumption that you're already a client of his, like you're already a coaching client. So I'm going to start giving you value right away. I know eventually if you watch it long enough, so certain people will be ready to sign up right away after they watch one show or a couple shows. Other people are going to take longer, where they might have to watch 6 months or 9 months. before they're ready and they know that Tom is the right fit for them. And that's fine, but he knows along the way, if he's putting out great content, building that relationship with his audience, that they're going to be ready to sign up right away. So again, he kind of assumes that you're already a coaching client of his, so he's going to put out a lot of great content. He's not going to hold it back. He's not going to put it on the other side of that paywall as well. And it's a great way of running your business, in that you're just giving away value up front, so that people know and trust and kind of build up your expertise enough that it makes sense that they'll pay you a certain sum of money for your coaching services, because again, you've built up that value and that know, like, and trust factor, that you've already furthered their career before they've already paid you a dime whatsoever. So they know once they do pay you for your coaching services, they'll probably accelerate even that much further. So really important to do that. Again, by using certain series every single day, or building that up, people are going to come back week after week. It might not be that certain day. So this week in housing might not be a perfect fit for a certain real estate agent, but Mindset Monday might be a great one as well. So think about how you can kind of create reoccurring content around certain themes, so that different parts of your market kind of come back to you and get to know you a little bit better. Maybe certain topics are more relevant for certain parts of your market. You can kind of chop up and think about what are the things in terms of my coaching program or industry that my audience really wants to know about, and how can I create separate series or shows around that, so that when they want to learn specifically about that topic, it can be really predictable, and they come back on that day to really look out for it. So again, creating that relationship and that habit where they're seeing you again and again and again each week. The other thing that he really does really well is kind of, he doesn't create these shows in isolation. So he really brings in kind of experts and real estate agents from throughout the industry. And the great part about doing that and creating these shows is he's kind of taking on these audiences. So that everybody that comes as a guest on his show is going out to their audience and kind of promoting the show as well. So what he's done is bringing on these experts, kind of really bringing on these relationships, and showing you and kind of showcasing them, but also kind of collaborating with them. Is he's bringing on kind of their list of real estate agents in their communities. So again, they subscribe to his channel along the way. Once kind of the influencer that he's brought on the show has talked about to their audience, and it gets to the point where that kind of feeds on itself and does it that way. So this is kind of the YouTube channel. I'm gonna show you what he does on Facebook as well, being very tailored to the audience there and the platform that he has, so that it resonates and it's a good fit for the people on that platform. Take a look at his Facebook page. You can see he does a lot of videos. So that's a great way to kind of build that connection, build that relationship with people, so they know they can get to see you, they get to know your personality a little bit better. I know for all people, getting on video is terrifying and not something they want to do. But for Tom, it's one of his strengths. He's comfortable doing it, and he's done it enough times over the last 5 to 7 plus years where he's gotten to the point where he can do it every single day. So on Facebook, YouTube, elsewhere, he's kind of putting out videos, but he also puts out stuff that's more written in content as well. So he kind of varies up that content so that his audience sees different things, gets some value at it. Again, he's covering various different topics. If you're a real estate agent, everything from mindset to specific tips on how to improve the real estate business and how to think about that, but also giving them knowledge about what's going on in the real estate agent, industry, so they can put that to work right away. So here's just another example on his Facebook page. Again, he's making it very specific for the platform, and that's really important. So he does go live on his YouTube channel for some of his YouTube videos. So he is repurposing some of those YouTube content to Facebook, which is kind of just leveraging his time, and it's something you should do as well. If you're putting out great content on a specific channel, find how you can leverage those other channels and the audiences that you have on other social media platforms to build it up as well. But what he does is create specific videos that are relevant for Facebook. So on Facebook, rather than YouTube that has longer videos, Facebook really prefers, and the Facebook audience tends to prefer shorter videos, so 1 to 2 minute ones. So here he's kind of just creating one that's really short, kind of gets out something around mindset. So 2 minutes, 39 seconds, just sitting in his car, So thinking about where he is in the day and kind of creating content that's really specific to that audience. Facebook a little bit more digestible. They can kind of see it right away within their newsfeed and kind of move on along the way. But again, he's building up his authority, his expertise, so that people, again, take that engagement and eventually get to the point where they sign up for a free call with him and sign up for his coaching program as well. So again, make sure that on the specific platforms, you're kind of creating content that really fits that and not just trying to create content across all the board, every single platform, not just trying to take your YouTube video and put it across every single platform. Create specific content that really fits for that platform and that audience for them to kind of digest it and build up your authority and do it that way. But also recognizing that you can repurpose content along the way across platforms. So it's kind of that delicate balance of doing both and doing it that way. But think about in those platforms where your audience really hangs out, where should you be spending your time. It's not worthwhile to kind of just spread yourself across all platforms, whether it's Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all those kind of things in terms of your sales funnel strategies. And this kind of goes from an online ad perspective as well. You don't want to be absolutely everywhere. You want to be where your audience really hangs out, where you can kind of start building that relationship. And as your empire kind of grows, that's where you can kind of expand your influence on other channels as well. But obviously, kind of YouTube and Facebook, kind of have those huge audiences to get in front of the right audience. And if you're comfortable with video, it's a great way to start on YouTube, but you can obviously use some of those techniques as well on Facebook and Instagram as you build it up as well. So let's hop in and show you a little bit more about what he's doing from an online ad perspective to kind of supplement all this, all this work that he's doing from an organic content perspective to further his, the spread of his following and to get into in front of even more people that maybe aren't a current following or haven't come across his content as we speak. Supplement to his organic content. And again, if you're putting out great organic content, one of the first things that you can do and use online ads and especially Facebook ads for is to get a broader amount of people that are seeing your organic content. So if you have great content that's getting a lot of engagement, that's a great source for maybe creating a Facebook ad that's more engagement as the target to put it out to a broader audience. So they see, so more of the people kind of see your stuff, they start following you. It can be a great introduction to what you're doing. I've seen Tom do it. He's not currently in terms of his overall Facebook ads doing it currently, but a great way to do it. Just think about your organic content, see what's really working well, and get it out to a broader audience so they appreciate the value and expertise that you're putting out there, start to follow you on a more regular basis and do it that way. So think about your organic content and using Facebook ads or other online ads to kind of spread your influence elsewhere and really to get your most valuable content in front of as many eyeballs as possible that are really relevant to the offer that you're putting out there. One of the other things that Tom does, so again, we talked about how that end, the end action that he really wants you to take is that free consultation call. But he knows that within his market, not everybody is going to be motivated or ready to sign up for a consultation call. So he does use lead magnets as well to get people to join his email list. On his email list, he can start building that relationship with you and get to the point where you get that conversion. So again, thinking about kind of that second step of engagement. How do I start building that engagement? Again, hopefully you're joining, if you join as a subscriber to his YouTube channel, that's another way of getting that engagement. You're going to start getting his content every single week and every single day. Same thing from an email perspective. You start getting his emails every single day. So again, within your funnel, think about from that engagement perspective, how can I start getting in front of these people in a very repeatable way on various different platforms so that they're kind of notified anytime you put out something, whether it's in their email box, whether it's on YouTube, maybe it's joining, kind of as a follower on your Facebook page. All those different ways are kind of ways of engagement. And you want people to kind of get reminders or just getting in front of them on a repeatable way so you can start developing that relationship and it's not just a one-time thing where they're seeing your content. So one of the things that he's doing, kind of tying into that year end is kind of thinking about goal setting guide for 2021. And again, if you go through that, and I did opt in for this just so I can kind of show you the flow, gets to the point where on this thank you page, you can download the guide And again, he's pointing you towards, that step that he wants you to, that free coaching consultation. So, the one suggestion that I would have for Tom is, put a video here that kind of talks about and starts with like, hey, thanks for signing up for my ultimate, goal setting guide. But here's, talking through kind of that next step. So, video is one of the superpowers of Tom. So let's put that video right in front of people. Let's start building that relationship a little bit more. Thank them for whatever they downloaded, whether it's your lead magnet or anything else, and then start selling the next step. So I talked about it in a prior sales funnel strategy breakdown a few weeks ago with Coach Christy Miller, where she did a great job of this on her thank you page, kind of selling that next step, which was a group program for her and kind of selling her Facebook Live. So here's a great opportunity for Tom. Again, put a short video. Again, you can kind of see and hear his personality, but hear a little bit more about that next step, so they get to the point where they're ready to sign up and be a little bit more motivated versus just going here and maybe not having as much information as they need to kind of click this button. What he does, in some respects is putting a webinar here, but it's not immediately clear what this video is or why somebody should click on it. So again, putting it right at the top so that once they come straight to the page, they take the action right away. They listen to him talk. It doesn't have to be a very long video. It can be 10 to 15 minutes talking about why you want them to take that next step. And again, kind of thanking them first on kind of downloading that lead magnet and why that has value as well. So you want them to watch the video and then go to their email box and kind of make sure that your email is in the spam folder, kind of go through that as well. And then in your emails, kind of selling that next step as well. So before we take a look at his emails, I just want to go back to kind of the Facebook ads. So one of the things that I always look to see is kind of looking at the longer term Facebook ads. So if we go down to the very bottom, he's been running these ads since July. So that gives you an indication that if you're running Facebook ads for a longer period of time, they're probably working. One of the things that he has just on the left-hand side here, kind of using a video of one of his coaching clients as kind of a way of using that ad. And it's a great way of doing it. Something that I do with my clients all the time, and finding those video testimonials from past clients and using that in your marketing is a great way to kind of catch people's attention, but also showing that, okay, in this instance, it's a real estate agent that has been in the industry for 10 years, talking about how, he had pretty good results, but it wasn't until he joined Tom's coaching program that his kind of career really took off. And kind of seeing that and hearing that from one of your coaching clients is a really powerful tool for your audience to see and do it, and kind of again kind of see those those kind of second steps or kind of the end benefits of your coaching program, rather than kind of hearing it straight from your mouth. Let's hear from other people that kind of look and look just like them, talking about the success that they've had, talking a little bit more about their story. And that's a great way of kind of using it within your Facebook ads, kind of using some of that video to have some of your past clients really speak to those prospects that might be in the same shoes as they were before they joined your coaching program, and talking about how their life has changed as a result. So great technique to use as we go through that. So finally, we're going to walk you through his email campaign and kind of show you the emails that he sends out, kind of ways that he's doing it really effectively, but how he can kind of improve that as well as kind of the final step in looking at his. And again, to go through the process, first, he created really valuable organic content that kind of pre-sold a lot of his prospects, because he caught their attention by really putting it out there and kind of presuming that they're already a coaching client of his. He got to the point where he tried to get some engagement going, so starting to build that relationship. And that's kind of the process here, is if they've opted into your email list, they've kind of confirmed that engagement. You've already established that relationship. They're asking you to kind of take that next step. So, kind of think of it as like, you're going out there and dating. So they've kind of agreed to, whoever it is, that boy or girl has kind of agreed to go out on a date with you, kind of take it to the next step, and agreeing to join your email list. That's what you're doing. And that's where you really get to that third step, is the conversion. So asking them to become a client and really giving them all the information that they need to know to become a client. And this is really where I see a lot of coaches, not doing the right work. Anytime somebody joins your email list, it's time to kind of give them the information and kind of preview what life is going to be like for them once they become a client. So in those first few emails, kind of creating a welcome email autoresponder, so that it through every step of the way, number one, kind of connecting with them a little bit with their story, sharing some success stories from other past clients of yours within the coaching realm, and then kind of going through and making sure that their belief system kind of lines up with the prospects that you need to sign up for a coaching program. So hitting on some of those false beliefs, any objections that they might have, any hesitations. So creating emails that kind of answer those, and then kind of giving them, future pacing is one of the words that I use all the time, kind of giving them a visualization of once they've been through the coaching program with you, how's their business changed? How's their life changed? And kind of giving them a visualization of that and walking them through, and everything that your coaching is involved. So what does it include? What shortcuts are you going to give them along the way? How are you going to help them succeed? And how does it hit exactly what they need? And what's your process? Do you have a repeatable process that has been proven to work, that you can take them through a 3 or 4 step process to get them the results that you need? So in the next, in that first 7 days that they opt in for your email list, you should have a series of emails that kind of hit on those specific things. These are all things that should be on your sales page as well, but you can kind of break them up into little bite-sized emails that kind of give each prospect an idea and get them to the point where they're ready to sign up and hit that conversion right away. So again, either it gets gets them to get on a call with you, but even before they get on a call with you, they should be ready to buy that coaching program, have the information that they need. It puts a little less stress on you as well, so that when they do get on a call with you, it doesn't have to be a complete selling process. They already have a lot of the information. It just gets down to kind of answering any unique questions they might have, or anything around their specific story, any concerns about they have around their unique situation. So that's really the design of email, and that's where I kind of see a lot of coaches, not doing that, and that they'll kind of just go through that constant loop of creating organic content, sending out emails that push people back to that organic content, but they're really not asking for the sale. They're not really letting their prospects know what being a client of theirs is going to be like, and what benefits are out there. So I'm really seeing the same thing as we kind of go through Tom's emails. Again, he's putting out really great organic content. He's asking people to, get on a call with him. So asking for that conversion, but he's not doing enough to kind of describe, what is his coaching all about? What are some of the options that are out there? And kind of describing some of the success stories. What is the real estate business going to look like after they've been through a coaching program with him? And that's where he could, add a couple emails to what he's doing. So maybe if we just start with the first one here. So I opted into his lead magnet. Here's a great opportunity. So again, he's kind of, starting with, we're going to start with you, we're going to contact you shortly. So it's kind of, he's including kind of that downloaded lead magnet with the conversion that he wants, in that you're going to get a phone call from somebody because he asked for your phone number as well. But again, in this email, kind of, let people know what to expect and going forward. So let them know in the next few days, you're going to get emails from us. Provide some curiosity bullets around that, so they start looking out for those emails about all the benefits that they're going to hear about. Again, those success stories, things that are in particular can move along their real estate business and what your coaching program is going to be all about. And then one of the other thing that I always suggest in this first email is asking them a specific question to get a reply. And what this does is it helps you improve your email deliverability. For a lot of the email service providers, whether it's Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, anytime somebody's replying to your email, it kind of indicates to them that your email is not spam, and it allows kind of all your future emails to future leads to be more likely to be delivered by those 3 service providers. So really important in those first few emails to get a reply, to kind of get that conversation going. And again, it makes it really easy, especially for those people that aren't ready to get on a phone conversation with you. You can have an email conversation back and forth, figuring out what are those hesitations, objections that they might be having right now, and get them to the point where they have that comfort level and motivation to get on a phone call with you. And the other thing I like to do in that first email is in the PS, again, describe what your offer is all about. So within Tom's perspective, kind of lay out what is his coaching program, what does it look like? Talk about how he has coaching programs for those more experienced real estate agents that might be in the industry for 10 or 20 years, and they're looking to accelerate their progress. Also programs for those brand new real estate agents and getting them off the ground. So kind of describing the menu of options that are potentially possible, so that, again, when somebody gets on the phone call with a member of his team, they're not completely surprised or overwhelmed by all the options that are out there as well. So again, you're kind of pre-selling that that call and making that call a little bit easier, and they have a lot more information to actually get on that call, show up, and get what they need. And then again, he's doing a lot of this as well. So, talking about he's providing some education and value, a lot of the same things that he's providing in his organic content. But again, you could provide a little bit more. I'd love to, I'm brand new to Tom Ferry's world. I'd love to get an email about what his story is all about and how he became a coach. Was he a former real estate agent that kind of became a coach, or was it a different path? And really talking more about, the success and kind of a little bit more about his process. Again, some success stories mixed in would be great as well. On his website, he talked about how his graduates have gotten well above the median compared to the average real estate agent. So let's hear a little bit more about why, and that'll help answer for any prospect, like, is he going to help my unique situation and move it forward as well? So that's really important. So, as you go through this and as you think about your own funnel, think about that kind of attention, engagement, and conversion. And in the comments below, let me know what are those areas in your own specific funnel where you're going to spend a little bit more time to make sure that you're moving the prospect from, catching their attention to building that relationship to ultimately closing the sale that you're looking for. Would really love to know what you're going to work on, and in looking at this funnel, how Tom is doing it really well. So if you really enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I break down funnels every single week, showing you the sales funnel strategies that are really working out in various different industries, so that you can create a funnel for your own business that kind of encapsulates some of those best practices and kind of best meets your personality as well. So until next week, take care.